What's up, 9-Rounders? Kickin Kenz here, and I'm an exercise specialist for 9Round. We know that the beginning stages of pregnancy can often bring a little bit of confusion when it comes to continuing your exercise program. But we also know that as long as your doctor has approved it, it's important for you to continue your health and fitness routine throughout your pregnancy. Since I'm just finishing up the first trimester and entering into the second trimester of my pregnancy, we thought that it would be helpful for me to share some tips and tricks with you on how to combat morning sickness, fatigue, and as well as how to modify your workouts throughout your pregnancy. It's important to continue your workout routine in order to help combat some of that unnecessary weight gain, in order to help improve your mood, and to also help with that labor, delivery, and recovery process. Like I said, it's important to make sure that you have doctor's approval before continuing with your exercise. But the majority of the time, they will say that as long as you have been exercising, it's important to continue doing so. They might give some recommendations when it comes to heart rate control or breathing. For instance, some doctors might give you a target range for your heart rate and make sure you stay within that range. Some doctors may also recommend the talk test, which just means making sure that you're still able to talk to your champion 9-Round trainer while working out to make sure that the intensity level is not getting too high to keep it safe for you and your baby. Some of the biggest obstacles that you may face during your first trimester are how to combat that morning sickness and fatigue, as well as how to modify your workouts. So I want to share some tips and tricks with you for how I got through that first trimester. When it comes to fatigue, a lot of it is about listening to your body and knowing your limits. For me, I typically work out 4 to 5 days a week, and I'm very active on those other days too due to the nature of my job. I found myself having a hard time recovering from my workouts, so I decided to increase my protein and water intake as well as decrease the number of days that I was working out. I dialed back my workouts to only 3 to 4 days a week, but I tried to make sure that I still stayed active on those other days, maybe getting in more steps or going for a walk to make sure I was still moving around. Doing this helped me to make sure I was getting the proper rest and recovery I needed between workouts in order to help combat that excessive fatigue. When it comes to morning sickness and working out, there's not a ton you can do there. However, it's important to make sure that you're not working out when you don't feel good, as this is not safe for you or the baby. But on the other hand, we want to make sure that on the days you are feeling good, you're getting your workouts in so that you can take that rest day when you're not feeling good. It's important to listen to your body and to know your limits. When it comes to modifications during the first trimester, there aren't a lot of modifications that need to be taken as long as you have approval from your doctor and you have a plan for continuing your workouts. A big thing when it comes to your workouts though is making sure that you're controlling that heart rate. It's important to control the heart rate, either utilizing our pulse technology to make sure you're staying in that target zone given by your doctor, or to make sure that you're following through with that talk test. Make sure that you can talk to your trainer and that you still feel comfortable while you're working out. For me, my doctor recommended the talk test. However, I found that if I let my heart rate get a little bit closer to that 90% range, that even though I was staying in the yellow, that target zone, I wasn't feeling as good, and that wasn't sustainable for my entire workout. I found that if I stayed more between 80 and 86% of my maximum heart rate, I felt better, I was able to continue my workouts, and I was able to sustain that pace throughout the workout. I was listening to my body and focusing on my breathing in order to maintain that for the majority of my workout. Another thing that I noticed, as you may notice as well during your first trimester, your heart rate tends to be a little bit higher and you get out of breath easier. I found this to be the case especially during the first round. It was important to me to make sure that I utilized that self-policing warm-up that we have at 9-Round. Since we don't have a round designated to warming up, we want you to use that first round to slowly bring up your heart rate and to warm up your body for your workout. I really made sure that I was slow at bringing up my heart rate with whichever round I started with to make sure that I wasn't just jumping from gray straight to yellow. I wanted to spend a little bit of time in the blue, a little bit of time in the green, and then get up in the yellow, and I did this using the self-policing warm-up. It's important to make sure, once again, that you listen to your body and you know your limits when it comes to working out during the first trimester. I have a few key points for you whenever it comes to dealing with that pregnancy during the first trimester. The first thing is making sure that you tell your 9Round trainer as soon as you feel comfortable doing so. Telling your trainer early on allows them to better help you with your workouts by making sure that you're controlling your heart rate or helping you with that talk test or monitoring your workouts a little bit more closely to make sure that you're not going at an intensity that's not safe for you and your baby. Another big thing for those first trimester workouts is making sure that you try to keep your health and fitness routine as close to normal as possible. It's important to make sure that you don't take a lot of time off. If you take the whole first trimester off, that eventually turns into the second trimester and then the third trimester, and before you know it, you've taken a year off from your health and fitness goals due to your pregnancy, the birth, and the recovery. We want to make sure that you stay consistent throughout your pregnancy with your workouts in order to help with that labor and delivery process as well as the recovery, and this will help you to come back stronger after your pregnancy. Now, you can take some of these tips and tricks that I've given you today and utilize them throughout the first trimester. Stay tuned for more tips and tricks along the way.